3 more tips to help you close more.
Wozniak here, Tom Peng. I hope your YouTube channel is going well. If you have skills in one area, it's important to pay attention to the other disciplines that make a business successful. Marketing and business itself, just wanting to be successful and make money so you can live forever. I wish you luck.
I offer a lot of sales tips in my channel. There's a lot of videos. There's like 3 tips here, 3 tips there, 3 tips to close more deals, 3 mistakes in sales, 3 tips to help you, XYZ, right? So I want to offer you another 3 tips. This time I want to offer you 3 more tips to help you close more deals. Because, closing deal is crucial to any business. If you're a business owner, if you're a salesperson, it ultimately defines your income. If you can't close deals, you have no fucking money, right? So you gotta close more deals, and that is really your mission. You need to go out and tell your prospects, your customers, why they need to pay you the money so that they can solve their problems. And you know that you believe in your product will help your prospect, your customers, solve their problems or help them save more money or help them make more money, right? So it is your job, your duty, your responsibility to close more deals. So today I'm gonna offer you 3 tips. And the tip number 1 is you need to make your customer feel that you are on their side. That is such a long sentence, but what I'm really trying to say is that you need to really support your customers, right? So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, like, your customers are not going to buy from you if they don't feel that you're on their side. If they just feel like you're trying to get money from them and then you're going to run away, they will not spend the money on whatever you're selling, right? It also depends on what you're selling. If you're selling something really, really cheap, they don't really care. They just buy the product and go. They never talk to you again. But if you're selling something more complicated like e-commerce, or if you're selling something that's, that you need to support after they buy the product, then they really need to believe that you're going to be around. So if they believe no matter what happens, you're going to be there to support them, back them up, help them to be successful, solve their problems, then they're more likely to make that purchasing decision and buy the product from you. Let me give you some examples, all right? Because we always communicate better with stories and examples, right? So for example, right, I go on sales calls with my salespeople, and when I talk to prospects, I always tell them that we're gonna back them up. Like, I introduce my customer service head. I introduce the people that are gonna help them, make sure that they're successful, that they're gonna get support. I want to make them feel like that when they buy our product, there's a whole team of people behind it, that they will not be abandoned, right? That is very important. And I always tell my prospect, I'm the CEO, but you call me. If you have got any problems, you call me, all right? Here's my number, you call me. No matter what problem you have, with our product, how to help your business, how to give you better strategies, you call me. That's very important. They gotta feel that you are on their side, right? That you're not just gonna take their money and run away. That is a very, very important thing that you must make your prospect feel before they will hand you the money. So the number 2 tips I wanna offer to you today is that, understand what closing is, right? In our company, for example, we have different levels of sales. We have qualifiers, we have closers, right? So qualifier is somebody that contact the prospect. A closer is somebody that closed the deal. But what does that mean, right? Well, closer does many, many different things. Salespeople do many, many different things. Salespeople sometimes go out and find customers. They do presentations. They follow up with the customers. They call them until they buy, right? But it is not a done deal until the customer pays, until that deal is closed. You must have closing skills. And what are closing skills? Well, basically asking for money, getting the contract signed, getting the deal done. And I often find that is a skill set that Vietnamese salespeople lack. They're really good at giving presentations. They're good at calling the customer. Oftentimes I see our salespeople giving a great presentation, and at the end everybody's like, oh wow, this is so cool, this is so good, okay, bye-bye, and then they go their separate ways and there's no deal. You always close the deal. And what does that mean, closing the deal? That means, when the customer, when the prospect is really like in the moment, they believe in your product, they really, really think your product will help them. But like anyone, people don't like to make decisions because they're scared. They're scared to make the wrong decision, so people don't make decisions, right? And then you let them walk away. And then when they walk away, they cool off, right? When they walk away, they are not as motivated to buy from you anymore. So what happens is, in a situation like that, you always close the customer. So what I would do, for example, right, I would answer customers' problems, and once they really believe, once they understand what our product can do for them, right, they're like, holy shit, this product is so good. Why is it so cheap? And that would be my cue to say, well, why don't we sign the contract right now? And you bring out the contract, you put out a pen, and you put the pen in their hand and say, sign it, right? And then that's how you close the deal, right? You never miss that last step. Because you can be really good in your entire sales cycle, from prospecting to presentation to follow up, but if you don't do that final step, remember, your prospect will not proactively sign a contract for you, right? They are always waiting for you to push them, and you do have to push them to get them across that line, across that boundary, so that they sign a contract. Once they sign a contract, it's a deal. I've never seen a case where they sign a contract, they don't pay. Never, not even in Vietnam. So once they commit to it, they will pay. And that closing step is very, very important in sales. And that's what differentiates salespeople and closers, right? Closers close the deal, right? They get people to sign and get the money, right? So tip number 3 on how you can close more deals is that you have to understand what the customer problems are. A lot of salespeople, right? They go into a presentation, they say, well, our product is so good, we can do this, we can do that, we got call center, we can create website in 10 minutes, you can create app in 10 minutes, we have payment, we have logistics, we have call center, we have this, and we have that, blah, blah, blah. They talk so much. And then the prospect is like all dizzy, wow, you have so much, but we haven't really answered the question why they're here in the first place. The prospect is talking to us or talking to you for a reason. They need something. They have a problem, right? And you need to address the problem. So you need to figure out what their problem is. And oftentimes salespeople don't understand how to find out what the problem is. And to find out what problems they have, you gotta ask the right questions, right? So it's a skill. It's a skill that needs to be developed. So you gotta have a keen sense when you talk to the prospect. You need to find out what their problems are. So here are their problems, and you know the product you're selling, the solutions are here, and you need to explain to them how the products can solve their problem, right? Once they have a full understanding of that, then it's an easy sale. Because once they understand how your product will solve the problem, they don't argue about price anymore, and they get really excited and they're ready to make the purchasing decision. But until that point, they will always be in doubt. Does this actually help me? They don't know. But when you explain it in a clear way that your products solve their exact problem, sometimes they don't even know what problems they have. And you need to help them understand what problems they have so that you can solve them. So let me give you an example. So we go to customers, and we try to understand their business. How are they, doing sales today? Do they have a sales team? How are they doing presentation to their customers? And then we find out, hey, their customers are all over Vietnam, right? It's hard for their salespeople to present their product to the customer. So we tell them, hey, you know what? We have a live stream feature. You can use this feature to demo your products to your customers no matter where they are, right? They're like, whoa, that's so cool. I've never seen this used this like this way before. And then we understand more. Do you have a sales team? And then we try to probe like what other problems they have in their business. Do you have a sales team? Well, we have like a small sales team. How are you controlling the quality of the calls? How are you monitoring the salespeople? Well, we don't do that right now. Well, how's that working out for you? Well, it's not really effective. What if you have a call center? What if all your calls are recorded? What if you can check all the phone calls from your salespeople? What if you can measure how much calls they make? Would that improve your business performance? Yeah. And then that deal, is done quickly because they understand how the product can solve their problems. So once they understand, we have all these features that solve their problems. Sometimes they don't even realize they have these problems. And then you tell them, hey, our product can solve all your problems. Once they make that connection, that deal can be closed very, very quickly. So I think that's 3 tips, right? I gave you 3 tips. So first tip is your customers must believe that you got their back and that you're going to support them for the long term. Number 2 tip is learn to close the customer, right? Learn how to close the deal. And the 3rd tip is understand what the problem customers have and solve their problems. Once they understand, they will buy. Because I'm such a nice person, I'm going to offer a 4th tip in this video. Wow. So the 4th tip that I'm going to offer to you is how to handle objections, right? So I actually made another video about this. How do you overcome any objection? So go look for it. It's about how to overcome any objections. Basically, you got to be able to handle objections from your customers. They're always going to say some things like, I'm not interested, I don't have a need right now, I don't have the money right now, I gotta talk to my husband, I gotta talk to my CEO is traveling, our company is, gonna, go IPO next week, or whatever the reason, right? They're gonna have a lot of reasons to object to your offer. And you gotta learn how to overcome those objections. And the best way that I like to overcome those objections are basically, overcome the objections before they come up. Don't let your prospect give you the objection. So before they even tell you what the objections are, you already overcome it. For example, maybe you're selling something that's really, really expensive, and price is gonna be the main objection for most people, most of your prospect. So before they even tell you it's too expensive, right? You overcome the objection. Sir, I know it's like 50 million dong. I know it's a lot of money. You're agreeing with them. It's a lot of money. But we do offer an installment plan. That's one way to overcome. Another way would be, but if you implement this process, if you buy this product, you can look at the return on investment. This is gonna make you 500 million dong in the coming 3 years. So you spend 50, get 500. Right? So whatever it is, you have to overcome the objection before they even come up with the objection. And that's generally how I like to handle objections, before they even come up. 3 tips, 1 new tip for you, preempt their objections. And I actually made another video about that, go look for it. So there are so many sales tips that I want to offer to you, and I think they can help you in your sales profession, and you can close more deals and use them. So take fucking action, and always do not be a fucktard.